Johnny Whitaker, born John Orson Whitaker, Jr., on December 13, 1959, in Van Nuys, California, was an American actor known for his fiery red hair, charming smile, and undeniable screen presence, who quickly rose to become one of the most prominent child talents in the era when television dominated American homes. His role as Jody Davis on the classic sitcom Family Affair, 1966-1971, made him a cultural icon beloved by millions. Yet, despite a decades-long career and a vigorous personal recovery later in life, Whitaker steadfastly refused to review a single episode he had filmed in 1966. What made a child prodigy, accustomed to the spotlight since the age of 3, view his own work as a pain capsule to be avoided? Was this refusal merely an artistic discomfort, or a sign of a deeper emotional crisis tied to the harsh price of early fame? The episode, titled "Mrs. Beasley, Where Are You?", according to the public explanation, revolved around Jody and Buffy's anxiety over the loss of their beloved doll, a symbol of stability after being orphaned. But behind the seemingly trivial plot are real tears, the raw emotions of a 6-year-old struggling with the pressures of acting and isolation. Let's uncover the mystery behind this event to discover the hidden truths in the depths of the soul of the one-time child star. John Orson Whitaker, Jr. was the 5th of 8 children born to Thelma and John O. Whitaker, Sr. He began his professional acting career at just 3 years old, appearing in a television commercial for a local used car dealership. His natural charm and striking red hair quickly earned him attention. Whitaker went on to appear in national commercials for Mattel toy makers, notably voicing characters like Larry the Lion and Crackers the Parrot in the Animal Yackers toy line. It was his energetic and lively performances in these commercials that made him a familiar face to American audiences. In 1965, Whitaker's career shifted to dramatic television when he took on the role of a young Scotty Baldwin on the soap opera General Hospital. This role allowed Whitaker to demonstrate his emotional range in a more dramatic setting. A brilliant career and notable works. The biggest break came in 1966 when Whitaker was cast in the major motion picture The Russians Are Coming, a comedy set during the Cold War. Brian Keith, who starred in the film, was impressed by Whitaker's talent and professionalism. When Keith was cast as the lead character in the CBS television series Family Affair, he personally recommended Whitaker for the role of his on-screen nephew. Family Affair aired from 1966 to 1971 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon. Whitaker played Jody Davis, an orphan boy who lives with his big sister Sissy, Kathy Garver, twin sister Buffy, Anissa Jones, bachelor uncle Bill Davis, Brian Keith, and British butler Mr. French, Sebastian Cabot, in a luxurious New York apartment. Jody and Buffy were originally written to be different ages, but because the producers found Whitaker and Jones so cute together, they changed the characters to twins. Whitaker's warmth, humor, and ability to convey vulnerability made Jody one of the most beloved children's characters. In addition to Family Affair, Whitaker continued to experiment with a variety of genres. 1. Drama, Western. In 1968, he guest-starred in the Bonanza episode A Dream to Dream, a touching episode that allowed him to show a deeper, more emotional side. In 1969, he appeared in The Virginian and then Lancer. In 1971, he was in a 2-part episode of Gunsmoke. 2. Children's films and cinema. Whitaker starred in the musical version of the classic novel Tom Sawyer, 1973. This is considered one of his most iconic roles. He also appeared in many Disney films such as Snowball Express, 1972, The Biscuit Eater, 1972, and Napoleon and Samantha, 1972, where he starred alongside future superstar Jodie Foster. After Family Affair, he starred as Johnny Stewart in Sid and Marty Krofft's Saturday morning children's series, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, 1973 to 1974. In addition to the spotlight, Whitaker went through difficult times in his personal life after adulthood. He married Cimbria Wright, 1984 to 1988. After leaving the main acting industry, he worked as a computer consultant at CBS and later joined his sister's talent agency, Whitaker Entertainment, where he served as manager to former child star Dana Plato. In 1999, Whitaker was honored with the former child star Lifetime Achievement Award at the 20th Youth in Film Awards. However, Whitaker struggled with drug and alcohol addiction. It was only after a family intervention, in which relatives threatened to cut off contact if he did not seek help, that he agreed to enter a 12-step program. He later became a certified drug counselor and founder of a Spanish-speaking nonprofit for addicts. By 2011, he had maintained a successful sobriety for 13 years. Additionally, Whitaker grew up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and after a period of separation, he rejoined the church. Ironically, throughout his brilliant career and personal struggles, no trial has been more indelibly imprinted on Johnny Whitaker's mind than a single episode, filmed when he was just 6 years old. It was a fateful event that he refused to watch again, because it represented a moment of irreversible trauma in the child's heart. That haunting episode was Mrs. Beasley, Where Are You?, filmed in 1966 during the first season of Family Affair. The show was known for its gentle, heartwarming stories about family. This episode was heavier than the others, focusing on the loss of Buffy's Mrs. Beasley doll. For Jody and Buffy, Mrs. Beasley was a symbol of stability, the only thing left from their old lives. So the search for the doll became a desperate attempt to hold on to safety after the loss of their parents. While the plot may seem trivial to adults, for Johnny it touched a nerve. The episode required Johnny to convey a high level of emotion, deep sadness, fear, and vulnerability. These emotions, according to later interviews, reflected his own unspoken anxiety about separation, uncertainty, and the intense pressure of performing in front of a national audience at such a young age. Filming the episode was particularly difficult for Whitaker. He had formed a close, almost familial bond with his on-screen sister, Anissa Jones. As a result, having to act out scenes that dealt with loss and the fragility of comfort and security was emotionally draining. The pressure to meet expectations pushed his personal feelings to the back burner during rehearsals and reshoots. Whitaker later revealed that the tears he displayed in the episode were entirely real. They came not just from acting, but from a deep, unspoken wellspring of emotion that he was not ready to confront. Although the director praised his performance, it came at the expense of emotional exhaustion. This incident was not an external accident, but a packaged psychological event, a publicized wound. The episode, Mrs. Beasley, Where Are You?, unintentionally became the systemic and personal cause of Whitaker's rejection. 1. Personal and psychological causes. Whitaker felt the episode was a traumatic capsule, representing a time in his life when he felt both seen and ignored, cherished by millions, but isolated behind the glossy smiles of Hollywood studios. The act of refusing to watch it was a return to a moment where he felt vulnerable, overexposed, and completely unprepared emotionally. 2. Social and systemic causes. The role of child star is a double-edged sword. Family Affair, with its theme of orphans and surrogate parents, unintentionally mirrored the unspoken truths of the cast's personal lives. The pressure of the profession required him to use his real emotions to achieve his acting performance, blurring the line between the real Johnny and the on-screen character Jody. 3. Elements of fate and tragedy. The emotional turmoil on set became more tragic when it was tied to a real loss in his life. After the tragic death of Anissa Jones in 1976, the memories of childhood shared on set became bitter. This episode, which contains some of the most intimate and emotional scenes between the two, is all the more difficult for Whitaker to revisit, as it is forever linked to the sense of loss he experienced not only in the script, but also in real life. The moment of no return is when the tears of a 6-year-old become public property. His emotional exhaustion is praised as acting, but for him it is the naked truth of childhood vulnerability, something he lived through in real time, not just in the script. The consequences of this emotional exposure lasted into his adulthood. Whitaker's steadfast refusal was not a sign of weakness or regret, but a powerful act of emotional self-awareness. It illustrates the complexities of being a child star and is a poignant reminder that the most difficult stories are not those written in the script, but those we carry quietly in our memories. Johnny Whitaker's life is a journey of contrasts, from the glittering spotlight of Hollywood through globally beloved roles to a grim personal battle with addiction. His role as Jody Davis brought him fame, but it was an episode about Jody that left the deepest emotional scars, becoming a symbol of the invisible damage children endure under the pressure of work. Today, refusing to watch the 1966 episode is a powerful acknowledgement of the emotional cost of early fame. It reminds us that, behind the professionalism and smiles on screen, there are children struggling with emotions they are not yet ready to face. The truth about this pain capsule raises a haunting question for society and the entertainment industry. Are we asking child celebrities to shoulder too much emotional weight, requiring them to exploit their own fears and vulnerabilities in exchange for praised, authentic performances? And if so, what is our responsibility to protect their mental integrity?